Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If it's your first time stopping by, my name's Heather. Today's video is a bonus video in my series Disabilities at Walt Disney World, and today I'm going to be sharing the pros and cons of taking your family with a disability to Walt Disney World, as well as sharing a few tips for you if you are planning a trip in the future. If you're planning on taking a trip to Walt Disney World with your family, with a person who has a disability, and you just really are on the edge and you don't know if you should take that leap and spend the money on that trip. First of all, we have been going since 2002 with a child with a disability. If you've never met us before, I do have a daughter with a disability. She is 20 and she is in a manual wheelchair. So we have been hitting Disney very, very hard since 2002. And she had to put her 2 cents in, and that's perfectly fine. But we've been going since 2002, like I said, and we live 15 minutes, if that, maybe 10 minutes from Carowinds amusement park, and I haven't been since 2003 when we moved to this area. So if that tells you anything, that I'm not going to spend my money in my own backyard, that we are going to put all of our savings for theme park attractions into a Walt Disney World vacation, that should say something, because we are thrill-seeking people. We love rides. I love roller coasters. I think I love them more than Damon. But we just really love to be in a theme park atmosphere. The fact that it's really in our backyard and we don't go says so much about why we choose Disney. So let's go ahead and get into that pros list, and then we'll move toward the cons. Of course, these opinions are my own, and it should not sway you one way or the other on planning a trip of your choosing, but chances are if you've clicked on this video, then you're definitely contemplating taking a trip to Disney in the near future. So the first pro about going to Walt Disney World is the cast members. We have found nothing but gracious cast members and very just warm-hearted people who work there, who go above and beyond to try to make you have the most magical experiences. We've actually become friends with cast members, and we've been talking to some since 2007. It's been such a great experience. There's really no other staffing in theme parks that we've seen to show so much care and love for the people who are coming in. The second pro is the Disability Access Service. Now, I did film a video all about this, and I will link that entire playlist below in case you have not checked it out yet. There's a lot of information in there that could be very useful to you. Number 3 is assistive listening. No greater joy to be watching for the first time in forever and Beauty and the Beast live on stage and seeing sign language interpretation. Sometimes I will get so busy watching them I forget to watch the show, because to me, I think sign language is the most beautiful and the loudest of all languages. It's the most beautiful and most intimate form of communication. Number 4, if you're traveling with someone who has a visible disability, Disney offers audible descriptions as well as Braille maps, which I think is so far above and beyond. Number 5, the ability to rent ECVs or electric wheelchairs. Number 6, Walt Disney World is autism and cognitive friendly. And if you haven't watched any of this series yet, the very first video that I did, I actually partnered up with my friend Mariah from Mariah's Whole New World, and I have linked her in this playlist as well. So if you're traveling with someone who is on the spectrum, you'll definitely want to check her out. Number 7, which applies to us the most, is mobility impairment friendly. We have not found an area that we really couldn't enjoy in Walt Disney World because of needing a wheelchair. Sometimes you may have to take a different route to get onto an attraction or down some trails at Animal Kingdom. That also means you get to see some unexplored parts of the park that you wouldn't see if you were just zooming by and walking like every other person who's visiting in the park that day. So we can appreciate how accessible the entire park is. Number 8, there is always adequate handicap parking. We have never been to Walt Disney World and not been able to get a handicap parking space. It has always been very easy for us. I don't know if you come late to the parks how that would be, but I can say for our experience, we are either there before rope drop or we are there at rope drop, and we have never had problems with parking. Number 9, Walt Disney World resorts are easy to navigate. They have handicap accessible rooms, which I am excited to try out for the very first time. Each one of the buses has the ability to load a wheelchair on, so there's really not much of a wait other than just waiting on a bus in general. If you prefer to use Disney transportation, that's always available to you as well. I love that they've added the minivans. There's just so many wonderful things that Disney has made easy for families like us. All right, here comes the dreaded cons. I only have two, and it says a lot about Walt Disney World, and it also probably says a lot about me just being thankful that we get to take a vacation. The biggest complaint I have had, and I have contacted Disney World so many times, it's crazy, but the bathroom situation. I've been very open and honest about our life, and if you don't know, I'm gonna spill it now. Michaela is incontinent. It's just life. So with that being said, there's not always a proper place to change her. I have went round and round with Disney about this many times, and they have assured me that they are going to pass it off to the next level for meetings, but nothing has ever been addressed. So I hope this is something that Disney will work on in the future, because right now they basically just tell you to go to the baby care center. Well, one, a 20-year-old is not a baby. I see nothing wrong with having the companion restrooms completely fitted with adult size changing tables. There are some throughout the parks in the restrooms that are this big, and then there's some that are pretty long, which we've been able to use. The thing that bothers me about this the most is, yes, we could leave from the Barnstormer and go all the way back up to by Crystal Palace to go to the first aid center or the baby care center to change her. But if she's soaking wet through her clothes, which does happen, I'm pretty sure none of us would want to sit in our own urine more than you have to. So to go and navigate all the way through with the embarrassment of wetting yourself, I just think it's disrespectful. I know Disney makes plenty of money that they could do this in a heartbeat. I don't think that it has to be in every companion restroom, but maybe every other one. Maybe just add 2 or 3. But the last thing we want to do is to put changing pads down on a companion restroom floor where God only knows who has peed all over the floor, to lay our child there on a cold, hard, sometimes wet floor to change them. It's not very respectful, and neither you or I would want to do that either. And I'm trying to keep this as reined in as possible because it makes me very angry, and I kind of rage out a little bit about it. So I'm going to try to keep this as light as possible, but still stressing the point. This is like the worst thing. The worst thing. It's basically came down to Damon and I taking Michaela in a companion restroom, and he stands her up while I pull her pants down. I pull her incontinence pull up off, clean her up. He lifts her up off the ground while I shimmy a new clean pull up on her. And then the same thing for her shorts or her pants or whatever she's wearing, and then she can get back in her chair. Well, that sounds like it's not that hard. If you're doing this multiple times a day for their cleanliness and then on and off the rides all the time, that lifting can really take a toll on your back. Of course, we do it because we love her and we wouldn't have it any other way. And when I can find one of those longer changing tables, I do use it. However, because she is a 20-year-old, I get very, very uncomfortable with other people coming in and out of the bathroom because these places are just like in the wide open, and everybody who comes in there can look at her and see her, and I think that there needs to be a sense of dignity and privacy, whether it be a male or female adult who needs changing. So with as many people who come there with Make-A-Wish trips, I really think that they need to step it up and do a better job where restrooms and changing tables are concerned. Next con really has nothing to do with Walt Disney World. It has everything to do with Walt Disney World guests. This is something Walt Disney World can't change, but I'm saying it out here because if you're stumbling across this video and this is something you've done in the past, maybe it'll just change the way you think, make you pause just for a second to realize that there are real families there who struggle a lot. There are families out there who have schedules beyond belief with therapies and doctors and specialists, and they just want a break. The things that we have had happen to us by other guests in the park have been completely disrespectful. We have been watching parades before, and people will stand right in front of her like she's non-existent. We're all excited, of course. Sit on your rear end in front of her if you want to see it too. There's no reason that you need to stand in front of someone in a wheelchair or a stroller. Don't ruin someone else's magic to create your own. We've also had people to lift strollers over her head. Like, again, she doesn't exist, or she's nothing because she's in a wheelchair. And I know that if you sat down and you talked to the people doing these things, they'd be like, oh gosh, I'm so sorry. I didn't realize what I was doing. I was in my own mind doing my own thing. Stop and think. I would never lift her wheelchair over a child's head in a stroller. So the fact that those things have happened, we've had people hit her really hard in the face, the back of the head, and the arms with their bags, just slinging around bags and just hitting her with them. And I've actually spoke up before. Again, people are so busy caring about themselves that they don't care about others anymore. So that stuff's just really frustrating to me. Disney World is a huge place, and it's also a very busy place, and I know that I've bumped into people before, but I'm the type of person, I'll apologize even if it was them who hit me. I'll take the blame for it and apologize way too much. So just be aware of surroundings. You know, we've had people to step on her wheelchair to try to see fireworks, to see parades. You know, like I've said before, a wheelchair is an extension of someone's body, and if you're not going to stand on someone's feet or their shoulders or their arms to get ahead and to see things more, then you shouldn't be standing or leaning on her wheelchair either. There's been some very unpleasant people that we have came in contact with over the years, and I just stand there shocked, you know, probably with my jaw on the floor, like, did that really just happen? Because I would never dream of allowing Michaela to treat someone that way, nor would I treat someone that way myself. You know, everyone needs to be respected, and everyone's personal space needs to be respected. We would gladly move and give someone a spot if they were having their first time at Walt Disney World. We would definitely forfeit our own spot for a parade or fireworks to let someone else sit just a little bit closer. But just be respectful. You know, if you want to take a picture or anything like that, just say, hey, can I step in front of you 1 second to take a picture? Yes, you can. But don't just stay there, you know? Don't crowd in as much as possible so they can't see or like they don't matter, because they do. We all matter, and we should all be there to have a wonderful time. So that's it for my pros and cons list. Hopefully that didn't get too heavy for you guys. Hopefully these things can help you out. My number one tip is to gather the family around and watch videos on YouTube of POVs of rides and of character interactions to make sure that your child is prepared for what they are going to encounter when they are in the parks. Make sure to mark your child's reactions. That way you know what rides to maybe stay away from, or what characters spark more interest or spark a little fear. Just make some notes along the way. Keep rewatching some of the videos and have as much conversation to get your child involved as possible. Second tip for you is sensory overload. I have sensory issues as well, so I know how quickly it can become out of hand. So I highly suggest, if you have someone in your party who has sensory issues, to bring some noise canceling headphones, an MP3 player or an iPod with their favorite music on there. And when you see that life is getting just a little bit too intense in the parks, and you see those marked reactions that your child has with certain noises and things like that, pull it out. It still may be able to visualize everything else that's going on around them, but the noise and things like that, they won't be able to hear. They'll be able to hear those familiar songs that they love. Number 3 is don't try to do it all. Now this does not pertain to our family at all, because we like to do it all. That's not the case for every family. You honestly have to do what is best for you. If you feel like your vacation is going to be so intense and you just know that you're already overwhelmed with your planning and you're not going to be able to do it all, then sit down with your family and decide what rides you want to ride and what shows that you must see. Put the list together and only stick to those things. If you feel like you can do more after that, then by all means go for it. But don't forget to take breaks as well. I feel like everyone needs to take a break, except us because we're crazy. But if you need to take a break, take it. Just remember that some of the smallest things can make the biggest memories. Number 4, call ahead and make dining reservations. Now I know this is not going to fit everyone's budget, but I highly recommend it if you have dietary restrictions. Sometimes when you're ready to eat, there might not be anything to accommodate you at that specific area. So if you call ahead and you make reservations, you already know what you can eat before you can get there. That might prevent some meltdowns and some allergic reactions if you haven't done your research. It's also a good thing to do your own research and find out what quick service best fits your dietary needs. Number 5, and my last tip, is every night before you guys are getting ready to go to bed, go over your plans for the next day. Include what park you're going to, include what rides that your family was most looking forward to, and the shows. If you haven't already chose the outfits for matching t-shirts or something like that, let your child pick out their primary outfit for the day. Like for us, we have to bring 2 or 3 changes of outfits a day, but let your child pick the primary outfit that you're going to start out the day in. That gives them some sense of control in how their vacation is going to go as well. Sometimes it's hard when you're in this sensory overload environment to just go from one thing to the next and they feel no control whatsoever. So try to give them a little bit of control when you can. That's going to do it for this video, and that's the end of the series, unless Disney modifies any of the subjects we've already covered. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a blessed day, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!